Greetings, my dear beloved friends. Let me tell you a story. It's a real life story. Once I worked with someone from Russia and her 20-year-old daughter, and I tried to help both of those ladies during the session. I asked her daughter if there is anything that she wants to be helped with. And here's what I see next. She turns to her mom and asks her, "Mom, what should I want?" No more comments. This partially explains my recent videos in parenting. Some of us consider them as somewhat extreme, but surprisingly, suppressing children's personal will and self-expression is considered as a norm. And people, unfortunately, reap those kinds of fruits of their parental upbringing sometimes for the rest of their lives. And globally, it's really a beginning level of humanity's extinction. As modern anthropologists come to the conclusion that death is actually a gradual process, and it starts with annihilation of an individual's power of free will, free choice, and critical thinking. Perhaps Almin is the only true spiritual teacher, because I have not heard anything like that from other teachers. Perhaps they exist, but I personally don't know about them. Because only a true spiritual master and teacher can say the following: never treat my words as the absolute one and only truth. When you listen to me teaching, you may say to yourself, maybe it's true, maybe not. Stay open-minded and listen to your heart. And if there is something that deeply resonates within you, then this might be a part of your highest truth. And if something doesn't, just forget about it. So Almin is here, and we are here, Team Almin Russia, that represents Almin, not to impose on you our highest truth. Do we have our highest truth? Of course, yes. But it's not your highest truth. That's why it's pointless to try to impose it on you. And also, it would be a black magic from our part. We are here to help you find your personal highest truth. If for some reason you either lost your full connection with it, or you want to deepen more into it. This is the main reason why we're here for you. Well, I decided to try to help that young Russian lady as much as I could, and it was successful, by the way. Currently, I'm very desperately facilitating one-on-one private consultations, and what I found that in most cases, but really in all cases, the basic issue is the same. As if people don't know who they are. They don't know what they want, and they don't know what their life mission is. They don't know what's their life current project is, what they're busy with, and what some of them want is to quickly solve their pressing issues, mostly already taken to the extreme severe state. And as a last resort, they contact us, please, please, please help us, and we want it right here and right now. Is there any quick meditation or technique or power sigil that can do it for me right now? And sometimes people even order multiple power sigils or musical elixirs and naively think that somehow all of those tools supposedly do their work for them instead of them. The alchemical tools just amplify and leverage our self-work. How else can they help? No tool can change our self-awareness and do our decision-making for us. Do they support us? Yes. Support what? Our self-work. So it took me quite a while to revive in this Russian young lady her basic sense of self that was lost in her family's traditions, belief systems, and then in the entertainment and mass media. Listen, guys, please understand me correctly. We're not a religion here. We don't have any set of rules and doctrines, and there's no such thing as do's and don'ts, shoulds or shouldn'ts. If we tell you what to do and not to do and try to scare you into obedience, then we're just black magic. First of all, forget about obedience. We forgot about it as a concept long time ago. There's no one to submit, there's no one to obey. You do your own decision-making based on your current level of self-awareness and your awareness of your today's highest truth. This is Almin's teaching in a nutshell. So I asked her, this Russian girl, to get reconnected to her desires. The second ring of magic is all about manifestation. And we can't learn to manifest if we don't know what to manifest. So either we manifest or we are being used by someone else as their useful manifestation tool for them. No other options. So as long as that young lady didn't know what she wanted, she was a useful tool of her mom because her mom was intelligent enough to know exactly how to use her in the area of housekeeping and as her personal errands girl. People without self-identity, self-awareness, and willpower are very convenient for those who have all of this. And they're happy to use the most available human resources as their biological tool to do their house cleaning, errands, and everything else what they tell them to do. Because they will definitely do what others tell them to do very easily, as they don't have lives of their own. And if they don't have lives of their own, then someone else who has their life as their own use those who don't have their lives as their own. Nothing new under the sun. Nothing really changed from the times of Atlantis and Lemuria. So, talking about the external source of influence, most of the people began to be bombarded by them since the very moment of their birth. They're programmed by their parents that they're just tiny little nothings, too small and too inept to think for themselves, although they must enforce their independent thinking since child starts to talk. If he started to talk intelligently, it means that he started to think intelligently. And whenever a child asks his parents a question, he should be asked back to create one or two possible answers, and then to use it as a reference point if further discussion is applicable. But it must bring a child to eventually making a decision of his own. He must learn since the early age about how to make his own decisions, and the next step to take his own personal responsibility for his decisions and reap the consequences of his own decisions. This is how he learns mastery from the first years of his life. Of course, we're not talking here about some important financial decisions for a family and things like that on those more advanced levels, firstly life, but something that's directly relevant to his childhood lifestyle. But the most important thing here is that a child learns to think for himself from his early age. The most important thing is to help him establish it as a habit, as a pattern. Whenever he encounters some issues where some decision making is needed, he habitually will try to figure it out by himself first. And then he will see what kind of external cooperation to use from his parents, someone else, and the adults in his life support him in developing this habit, which really is the master key of success, prosperity, and well-being for the rest of his life. The ancient text of the sacred wisdom call it the key of the kingdom of God. If the parents perceive and treat their children as kings in the divine kingdom and not as their pets or convenient, useful biological tools, which they can further use as their servants, housekeepers, errand boys, errand girls, and the like. If you, a parent, need assistance in the area of housekeeping and gardening, it's better to hire a gardener or housemaid, personal domestic assistant, than to exploit our children. And by doing that, we would steal their lives and their futures from them. As we are raising future great scientists, great entrepreneurs, great world leaders, and you are here as a sacred government of the earth to be one of them yourself. You know exactly who you are, why you're here, and what you're supposed to do with your life. Please try not to misunderstand us. It's not our intent to establish any kinds of rules or any kinds of taboos in this area, including the area of external sources of influence, but some of us found it very useful to restrain ourselves, at least temporarily, from the mass media and entertainment, especially the movies. Each movie contains a set of mental and behavioral programs. And if we are not self-aware, and if we don't masterfully govern our own lives according to our divine wills, then we passively accept those installments, and our personalities and behavioral patterns automatically change according to the best interest of the puppeteers that create those programs. And of course, they will have for us more programs, more installments. There are a lot of movie channels that broadcast all kinds of movies 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. But if you live your own life, then you are invincible. Then you are not programmable. Programmable. I'm not sure about my pronunciation, my right pronunciation of this word. And I'm Russian, by the way. I think everybody knows. So I speak with a thick Russian accent. And if you want to use some of those tools just for your personal research, I mean movies, mass media, news channels, etc. If you are interested in the way social engineering works, then it will be a totally different story. If it's really a part of your current personal project. It depends on the nature of your current personal project. We don't need this kind of research for the most of our personal projects, but if this is something that you're busy with, then your work with Netflix, Disney World, Hollywood, and all kinds of news channels is something that's absolutely explainable. But of course, not for just mindless entertainment purposes. Talk to you soon.